Hey everybody, happy Tuesday night. It's time for dinner with Debbie and it's still, pretty hot. I'm still like having the heat hangover from last week. So I decided I really wanted to do something quick and easy and kind of cool. And again, minimal, like using the stove or oven. In fact, I don't think we're using it all today. So I'm doing something a little bit different for dinner. I'm doing dips, and I'm doing a couple of Mediterranean dips because I feel like, that's something that is so versatile. You can use it as like a sauce over like an accompaniment for chicken. So I'm going to be serving for my dinner tonight. I have some chicken breasts that I had made and had, stored away in the refrigerator. I'd made like a bunch and put some in the fridge to have for later. So I'm just going to pull those out and I'm going to serve them with these dips. So the first dip, I'm going to make two. I'm not sure if I'm saying this right. Any of my Greek friends, feel free to correct me, but I'm making tzatziki sauce, which is a traditional Greek dip, and it's actually an awesome dip to have with just about anything. It's traditionally served with pitas, but I like it with like baby carrots and vegetables in a crudité that way. It's a great dip that way, and it's cooling and refreshing. And I think, even kids like dips. I think, just everybody loves to like take their food and dip it into something. And I think it might be a way to try to get kids to try something a little bit different. And making the tzatziki is really quick and easy. It comes together really quickly. The second dip that I'm going to be making is less of a dip and more of like a spread. I'm going to be making a tapenade, which I believe has its roots in France, but I think of tapenade, I think of tapas, I think of Spain, I think of light plates, and of course a tapenade, taking a little bit of it and putting it over some fish, over some chicken would be delicious. It's also good served with warm pita, square little triangles. And I'm going to be serving it alongside my chicken. And again, it's another thing that comes together pretty quickly if you have a food processor or a good blender, which I have a Ninja blender, which I use for all of that stuff. So I'm going to get started with the tzatziki first. The first thing that you need to do, I have my box grater and I have a cucumber. This is about half of a cucumber that I've already peeled, and I'm going to be grating it. And it gets pretty juicy. So, and this is also can be done on a mandolin, which is another, I should do like a video using my mandolin, because that is a quick, easy way to get a lot of slicing or dicing done. But this box grater works pretty well on getting, something soft like this cucumber grated in a jiffy. So there, that is grated already. Let me get it off here. And I hope everyone survived the storms okay. I was out of town for a couple of weeks couple of days. A couple of weeks, that would have been bad. I was out of town for a couple of days over the weekend for a horse show, and the storms were not as bad there. But when I came home, we had quite a bit of limbs and trees down. So hope everyone weathered that storm. I have a fine mesh grate sieve here, and I'm going to be putting my cucumbers into that. Let me just get them in here and I'll show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to take it to the sink to finish this part. Because there's so much moisture in the cucumber, we want to get some of that excess out. And the way I am going to do it is I have some paper towels and I'm just going to smush this in the sieve over the sink so that I get rid of as much moisture as possible. So I will be right back in a jiffy. Yeah, this works really well to get out the excess moisture. So here is my sieve with the grated cucumber that I've squeezed out as much of the liquid as I can, putting that in a large bowl. Get rid of that. And then I've got some Greek yogurt here, plain Greek yogurt. This is Faye, 2%. I don't like to get the 100%, you know, the 0% fat, because I think you just need a little bit of fat to make it taste good. So I compromise and do the 2%. I think there's also a 5%, which I'm sure is delicious. So we need a cup and a half, and of course it's not rocket science. It doesn't have to be exact. I've got my measure cup here, but about a cup and a half of this plain Greek yogurt. I'm going to need another spoon to scoop it out. And I think I think the fat added to the yogurt makes it creamier. So the more fat in it, the creamier it is. There. So there. That looks like about a cup and a half or so. Get that scraped out. Okay. So now basically the rest of this comes together really, really quick. The grating of the cucumber was like the hardest thing. So let me get the rest of the ingredients in here. So we're going to take our cucumber. I have about 2 tablespoons of dill that I've roughly chopped. I'm just getting that off of the cutting board, and you can see I've roughly chopped that, so that's going in. I'm also going to I'm going to use already minced, but we're going to use about 2. I put in more than 2 teaspoons. It calls for 2 cloves of garlic, and I'll put in more because I like garlic. So there. We also need about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm going to use some nice olive oil here. And I'm just going to eyeball it, just a couple of swirls around. You can measure it if you'd like. And I need some lemon juice, and I'm going to use, lemon. But if you don't have lemon, obviously you can just use the the lemon juice that you can buy already. But I'm going to take a half of a lemon because I think what it calls for, just a tablespoon. So I'm going to take half of a lemon and juice it right into here. There. Just turn it around a little bit so I can get all the juice out. There we go. And then we just mix it up. Once this is mixed up, I'm going to taste it and just see, and then I'll add some salt, depending on what it tastes like. So that's it, really. Very few ingredients. I do recommend using fresh herbs because that does make a difference when you only have a few ingredients in a dish. I think that having the best ingredients that you can put in here always make a difference, and I really think that it makes a big difference to use fresh herbs. So let me grab a spoon and taste this real quick. Yeah, definitely need salt. And then you can salt it to your taste. So I'm going to grab a generous pinch or 2. Recipe calls for sea salt. I'm using kosher salt because that's what I have. But if you have sea salt, go for it. Yeah. Now, if I was serving this to, you know, people, I would be grabbing a different spoon to taste this. But since I'm just having this myself, and Mark, and he can have my backwash, whatever, I'm going to use my same spoon just to save some dishes. Oh yeah, that's good. Yep. Again, this can go in the fridge for a little while, so you can make it in the morning and pull it out. And just because of you guys, I got a nice little glass bowl that I'm going to put this in. And this, you probably won't need the whole thing. This is a pretty good size recipe. You could cut it in half if you wanted, or you can, this will stay in the refrigerator for probably about a week. There. And there you go. Tzatziki sauce. Yummy. Tastes really good with grilled chicken, vegetables, just about anything you can imagine. Okay. So that's done. I'm going to put this in the fridge. I'm going to put it up on the top shelf. My fridge is a little bit of a disaster right now. It needs to be cleaned out. So, moving on to the tapenade. I'm going to get rid of this box grater because we don't need that anymore. The tapenade is really a big mixture of olives. It's really tasty on like a little brioche. Oh, what am I drinking? I am drinking, this is a Pinot Grigio. It's actually really inexpensive over at Wegmans. I forget how much it was, but I think it was under $10. This is the Del Venezia Pinot Grigio, the 2021. I got this at Wegmans. I think it's available other places. And like I said, I think it's like under $10 a bottle. It's not a screw top, so it's not that easy. You do have to uncork it, but it's, I think, really refreshing for the summer. It's light, it's crisp, it's acidic. And it'll taste really good with these dips. Hey, Vicky, how are you tonight? So I have already rinsed. I got a pound of mixed olives. These are all Greek olives. I got a mixture of Kalamata and other Greek olives, and then I have, these are all pitted, by the way, and then also black olives. They're really tasty. And while I was there, I went ahead and got a container of the feta stuffed olives. They are so delicious. I could eat like a whole container of them just on their own. I'm going to grab my mixer, because this stuff is going to go straight into the mixer. So I've got my olives. I've already rinsed them and checked them for pits. There's no pits. And a pound of olives is like 2 of these containers. So we've got the olives. Let me get the rest of the ingredients going in here. So the other thing that it calls for is something I'm not really used to getting, but anchovy fillets. Oh, Vicky, what type of mixer is this? This is the Ninja mixer, and I can put a link to it. I got it in Amazon, but it is nice. If I were going to get another mixer, I think I'd probably want to get one that had the hole in the top so that I could not take the lid off and be able to scrape the sides down. That's my only complaint with this Ninja mixer, because it does a fantastic job and it's super easy to clean. But thanks for, that's a great question. So I've got a tin of anchovy fillets in here, and this recipe calls for 4 anchovy fillets. I've never worked with them before, but I'm like, okay, I'll give it a whirl. Let's see what they look like. I don't think they're anything that I would eat on its own. It has to be like mixed up in something. I think I'm gonna have to use my fingers, guys, which is great because I just got my nails done and they're gonna get them all gross. Oh, they're tiny. So here is an anchovy fillet, and I just need 4 of them. I guess the dog is going to be getting some of these getting some anchovies because I'm not going to be needing this whole tin. But anchovies, you might know, are a, yeah, I think this is 4. Anchovies are an ingredient in salad dressing, Caesar salad dressing. And you can also get an anchovy paste, which is not as, I probably could have used an anchovy paste in this instead of the anchovy fillets. But, oh, by the way, this, the reason that they're giving all the whole ingredients is that this recipe comes out of that Flavrs app that I've been talking about. And this recipe is by Eric Ripert. Both the Tzatziki and this tapenade are both courtesy of Eric Ripert. So, of course, he's not going to be using anchovy paste. He's going to be getting the anchovies. I wouldn't be surprised if he went and got them fresh out of the ocean himself. So in addition to the anchovy paste or the anchovy fillets, we're going to put 2 cloves of garlic. And again, I'm taking the shortcut and using the already minced jarred. And I'm just going to do like 2 spoonfuls there. I also need capers, which I need 3 tablespoons, but I'm probably going to just like eyeball them because I don't want to drain the whole thing. So these are supposed to be drained, so I'm going to just pick them out. And again, you know me, I don't really like to measure too much. So I'm just going to scoop a bunch out and just eyeball it. I think we still need a little bit more. I love the smell of capers though. Yeah, that looks good. So there we have our capers. I have about 2 tablespoons of parsley, Italian flat leaf parsley that I've already kind of roughly chopped. I'm going to grab that off of the cutting board. Sprinkle that in. And we need some lemon juice. So I've got the other half of my lemon here. And I'm going to juice that right into the blender. And I'm probably going to grab that other half that I juiced before because I think there's still some lemon juice in there. There, let me grab this one again. Yeah, there's definitely more juice in here. There, so we've got the parsley, the lemon juice, and there. So I've got all the things. I need a 1/4 cup of olive oil, which I've already poured out. I'm going to pour that in. And then I'm just going to mix this up. So let me get the base over here. And of course, you know, that's going to be a little bit loud, so just bear with me. Let me move some of these ingredients out of the way. Plug this bad boy in. I love letting machines do all the work. Just clicks into place. Hey Todd, how are you? So I'm going to put the lid on here, but not lock it down just in case this splatters. But what we want to do is pulse this until we have a thick paste. So I'm going to Oh, it doesn't want to work until I put the thing down. So I do have to lock it. So and what I'm going to do is stop it intermittently and scrape down the sides. So I've got a rubber spatula, because what you'll end up having happen is all the stuff at the bottom gets, you know, mixed up like crazy, and the stuff at the top doesn't. So this is where I would like a mixer that has a hole in the top so I don't have to take the lid off. That would be handy. But I don't want to get a new mixer because this one is still pretty new. Here. Let me grab a spoon and taste this. Because this too, once I put this into a bowl, can go into the refrigerator for a little while. And, you know, I didn't add any salt to this because, you know, guess what? The olives are really salty. So you probably don't need any. But this is so good. This is so good. I love olives. If you don't like olives, you're not going to love this. But this is so good. I don't know how anyone can not love olives. They're like salty. They're just like little bites of heaven. So again, I think this is perfect. So I'm going to put this into another bowl and get that into the fridge. So again, I've not used my oven at all. I've not used the stove at all. I've done minimal chopping. And I already have chicken breast that I made, and I'm just going to be pulling them out of the fridge. So this is going to be a really easy, quick, and, you know, pretty, you know, healthful dinner. So I'm going to scoop this tapenade out. And it's so versatile. If you want to make, you know, little bruschettas, I think this would be delicious. You know, you can make it as an appetizer. You can take it to a picnic. I think it's just really, really versatile. There. I also don't like to like leave any in here. I'm kind of like that with my toothpaste too. I'm gonna like try to squeeze every last bit out of the tube. I'm gonna get every last bit of tapenade out of the mixer. So again, when you're just using a few ingredients, I think it's really important to use the best ingredients that you can get. I like to use fresh lemon juice when I can, and I really like to use fresh herbs when I can. So that being said, I do keep in my pantry just like, you know, an emergency stash of like herbs. So in case I want to make something and I make a mistake and I don't have something fresh. So here is our tapenade all in my pretty bowl, and this is going in the fridge. And there you have it. 2 Mediterranean dips, a really nice, inexpensive Pinot Grigio, some chicken breasts, or get a deli chicken, and you're good to go. You've got vegetables. If you want to have a baked potato with this, you could do that too. But, you know, that involves turning on the oven. I think we'll be fine just as it is. So I will see you guys next week, and I hope you guys are doing great. If you give this a try, let me know.